Every once in a blue moon, the mind of a manga author conceives a character which is initially hyped up to have unfathomable prowess, the likes of an OPMC from an isekai, just to end up being mid! These are called frauds, and there's a variety of them in anime. While scouring through the cesspool harboring basement dwellers and keyboard warriors known as social media, I have become aware of the existence of a fraud in an anime airing this season that I'm quite fond of, known as Gachiakuta, and his name is Zanka. Brief rundown of this anime for anybody who's unaware of it: it is garbage. Try! The majority of the anime takes place in a setting filled with discarded trash that would make even Asmongold quiver in fear. Within this trash-infested place lies a whole civilization living lives almost similar to the scrubs in our society, while others have these sick lives using these contraptions called jinkies to fight these monstrosities called trash beasts. These guys are called cleaners, and Zanka is one of them. Now, throughout certain points in the story, the cleaners are in opposition with a nefarious group called the Raiders. Zanka encounters possibly the most toxic member of the bunch, and his name is Jabber. Now, Jabber is... I can only get so erect. All kinds of fucked. Like literally, worst traits imaginable for a fighter. Deranged, psychopathic, outright masochistic, battle frenzied with an insatiable lust for violence. And this lad had the misfortune of facing off with him twice, and not once has he been triumphant. Embarrassing! With that said, what I'm trying to fathom is how this mook ended up being placed in the category of frauds due to the sheer fact that he outright states straight to our faces, no ambiguity whatsoever, clear as day on numerous occasions, might I add, that he is mid! This is not a similar situation as a certain volcanic monstrosity high on his own fumes and having a delusional mindset thinking he can face off against two of the strongest beings in his verse. He just ended up being decapitated by the so-called honored one and sniped into the goddamn ether by a tatted up version of Lucifer. Welcome to hell. The kid's only notable loss thus far is Jabber, and Jabber is a lunatic as toxic as the gas that comes out of my anus after consuming something spicy. Literally in one episode he started jumping up and down after revealing he's got a second form like he's a certain racist alien. Like seriously, what do you do in circumstances where a spook high on psychoactives and painkillers wants you to match his flow when you're as mid as modern day art? It baffles me how this is actually a thing, by the way. In a world where people can conjure up cannons and freaking turn into dragons, the kid only has a shtick for a weapon.
What more do you want from me?
Plus, you know, technicalities gotta be taken into consideration in times like these, man. I mean, during the second encounter, Zanka did put up a fairly good fight against this poisonous psychopath. Plus, you know, the first time around it really didn't count as much of a fight, seeing as Zanka did get snuck up on, so, you know. Okay, yes, I'm huffing copium, shut up! The main reason why I have a complaint with people calling Zanka a fraud is because when you have somebody like him showcasing qualities like resilience and hard work while coming to terms with his mediocrity and attempting to prove that even an average Joe like himself can surpass people who are naturally gifted is something that strikes a chord with me. Zanka being in the presence of talented fighters and being aware of how much he's lacking in certain departments is something that could resonate with anybody. Maybe education, sports, art, or simply life in general. A lot of us have encountered somebody who seemingly has the upper hand in a certain field. Zanka essentially serves as a portrayal of certain people in society who are somewhat self-deprecating due to the unfairness of life, but continue striving to reach those who they perceive to be exceptional and lessen the disparity between average and above average. Is Zanka a fraud? Hell no! While failure or defeat can be demoralizing or humiliating in certain instances, it also serves to highlight areas of improvement for the betterment of oneself. And it's certainly not an indication of the fraudulence of a character, especially somebody who's not braggadocious about their capabilities like Zanka. However, while I do like Zanka, I will admit that it is rather embarrassing having a doped up lunatic dancing on your corpse while you're on the verge of death and laughing while you're having delusions of grandeur. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I simply saw all the slander surrounding Zanka, and for the life of me, I couldn't tolerate that nonsense because the kid, he doesn't meet the criteria for goddamn fraudulence. Also, him and Jabbo was just simply a mismatch, Jesus Christ. So yeah, if you enjoyed my spiel, my nonsensical talk, you know, like the video, subscribe, drink some water, and freaking step outside. You're in dire need of some vitamin D, man. Jesus Christ. With that said, I'ma log out. I'll see you when I see you.